I wasn't going to ask you about your background, but you bring it up. Will you kind of just allude to how you found yourself here?
Yeah.
Because again, I think it's inspiring to other people who think I'm just one person. I wasn't cut out for this. I can't really make a difference. You break that mold.
Oh, well, thank you. I can give you the very, very Spark Notes version of it because I've said it many times, but we'll take a long time to do the full version. Generally speaking, I never thought that I was going to be a political commentator or host a podcast or a social media influencer for my job. I went to college with a huge passion for science and wanted to use that passion to try to help as many people as possible, and was pre-med. So my educational background is in the biomedical sciences for undergrad and grad school. But I found myself, like most people in our generation, just completely surrounded by rampant indoctrination and left-wing propaganda. Even in my classes like biology and physiology and anatomy, sitting there over a cadaver, not necessarily just learning about objective reality and biological truth, but constantly being told the same parroted talking points from my crazy professors over and over again. And that just didn't sit very well with me. I've never been one to sit down and shut up. I was a speech and debate champion in high school, and I decided to try to do something about it. And whether that was just raising my hand in my big lecture classes to tell my professors that they were wrong about something, or running for student government, I got a bit of an itch to get involved in activism in some capacity. And right around that time was served a random Facebook ad for this organization I had never heard of before called Turning Point USA. And the headline speaker for a conference they were putting on for young women was some 19, 20-year-old kid in ill-fitting suits and dad sneakers who had no idea how to dress himself, but seemed interesting to listen to, named Charlie Kirk. And in 2017, went to my first TPUSA conference back when it was a few hundred students in a hotel ballroom somewhere attached to the airport in a random city in America, and listened to speakers like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk and some of our elected officials. And it was such an interesting opportunity to realize that I wasn't alone. And there were thousands of other young women out there on college campuses just like me who were feeling completely isolated and shut out of their university communities, but wanted that same pursuit of truth and the pursuit of what is good and true and beautiful in what we believe in as conservatives. So I went back to school and started a TPUSA chapter and really got the bug for activism and brought some speakers to my campus. We organized lots of events. I ended up having to do a lot of media when I got quite a reputation for being that conservative girl on my college campus, and was regularly targeted by the extreme left-wing clubs on campus and lots of professors. I can't tell you how many death threats and people threatening to rape me I got on the regular basis from people I sat next to in class. My one-bedroom apartment was my address was doxed online, which was really scary when I was spending most of my evenings until like 3 a.m. on my college campus studying marathon study sessions for OChem, then walking home by myself. But none of that ever dissuaded me. It just created a bigger fire in me to want to do more. And I developed a really close relationship throughout that journey with Charlie Kirk, who became a very close friend and mentor to my life. And he encouraged me, hey, I don't think you should go to medical school. I don't think that's what God is intending for your life. You should really think about doing something else, like more of what I'm doing, and become a louder voice for more students who need an example that they're not the only people out there that have their beliefs. So I sat my parents down on the couch and said, I don't think I want to be a doctor. I think I want to post videos on Instagram for a living.
I'm sure they took that well.
It was a great conversation. And as always, my parents are so unbelievably supportive of their children achieving their dreams and building their own American dreams. So they said, well, if you can figure out a way to pay for it, we are very, very, very supportive of you. Lo and behold, that was 2019 when I graduated from undergrad. I started posting publicly on social media the day after my college graduation. I just turned my Instagram public, and here we are in 2026. I've worked with pretty much every conservative media organization in the movement in some capacity. I have done so much incredible activism with the pro-life world as well. I do more TV interviews and radio than I could ever imagine. I got to work for the president for a short while through an internship at the White House in 2018, and now my husband is working for the president, and we're back in Washington, D.C. all these years later, and it's just been so incredible to see what happens when you have the courage to abandon all of your own plans for life and listen to what God has planned for you instead.
How amazing is that? And really all it took was like willingness to put yourself out there initially, and all of the opportunities that you've had, all of the amazing people that you met, your husband being one of them, all of the relationships that you've developed, the places you've been able to go. It's really, really powerful, the impact you've been able to have. And think of how much debt you saved yourself from going into by not going to medical school.
Amen. I'm watching my siblings have to navigate that in real time. So it hurt at the time feeling like you weren't as successful as the other kids going to medical school, but I'm very, very grateful now. And, I do want to say one more thing based on what the beautiful characterization you just gave is that there wasn't anything like special about me. And I think people are surprised to know that there wasn't some dramatic event that happened in my life as to where I got today in 2026. But I say all the time to college students who ask me, how on earth do you get to do this for a living? You have my absolute dream job. I want to do something like this. Literally, I just started posting videos on Instagram. Like, that's it. I was a normal college student. There was no hugely defining moment in my journey as a student that launched me into activism. I just was uncomfortable with what I was seeing on my college campus and wanted to do something about it. So there is no secret ingredient. There is no secret sauce to get to do what you and I do every day. I know your journey was a little bit different with a specific event that launched you into activism, but I think there's something really powerful in reminding young people that you don't need some sort of secret membership card or a special qualifying thing happening to you in order to really impact people's lives and to tell the truth to the world.
That's it. It's merely speaking the truth. You mentioned you go from like speech and debate to now sharing a stage with incredible leaders like our press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, Cheryl Hines, which is RFK's wife. You recently did that in talking about the new Trump accounts. What can you tell us about this initiative? And I think how specifically it is an investment into our daughter's future.
It is, Riley. I am so excited about this. This might be one of my favorite things the Trump administration has introduced their entire return to this term here. And that's saying a lot because there's been some amazing initiatives championed by this president and our cabinet. But just a few days ago, I was invited by the administration to help launch the Trump accounts, which are investment accounts for our babies in this quest to revive the American family. And I shared the stage on a new moms panel with Caroline Leavitt and some folks from Moms for America, as well as Cheryl Hines, who is the wife, of course, of Secretary Kennedy. And we got to chat about what these accounts are going to mean for our children and how American families can take advantage of this. For those that may not have been paying attention, or maybe the media didn't cover it as well as they should have this last week or so, these Trump accounts are essentially a free opportunity available to you because of our Treasury Department to start a trust fund for your baby right now if they are born during this presidential administration. So if you give birth to a baby between January 1st of 2025 and the end of 2028 during this Trump term, you have an option to start a new investment account that already has $1,000 put into it by the United States Treasury Department. That is a trust account and will grow with the stock market over time. And then every year, you and your spouse can put in $5,000 of your own money that is then deferred out of your taxes every year to help grow that and continue investing in your child's education. We also know that there are several companies that are also paying into these Trump accounts and trying to honor that for a company incentive for their employees. So many companies around the country, including Turning Point USA, announced recently that they will be matching that $1,000 grant that the Treasury Department has already put into these accounts as well. Basically, when you shake all of the math out of this thing, if you put all of the maximum contributions into this account from the time your child is born until the time they turn 28 years old, they will have over $1 million based on stock market averages waiting for them to launch their life. And kind of like a 529 college savings plan, you can use this for educational expenses. Our kids can use this to buy a house someday, which is an advantage we never had access to growing up. And now here we are at 28, wishing we had something like that. And also you can use these to start your own business, which I know so many families are really excited about. One more caveat I'll explain as well is that you don't have to have a brand new baby to open one of these Trump accounts. Any child under 18 can have one open for them as soon as they're launching this summer, and you can learn more about them at trumpaccounts.gov. It's just the $1,000 that goes in from the Treasury Department if it is a new baby during these 4 years. So both baby Isla and baby Margot are eligible for these, which I'm so excited about. But just to know that this is a huge seismic shift in Washington, I think is important for people to wrap their heads around, because typically the status quo financially and from an economic perspective is that our politicians are constantly selling young people out to keep bailing themselves out and keep investing in failing programs that are completely bankrupting our country, like Social Security, for one, and really stealing from the financial futures of children and the next generation over and over and over again. This is the first time, really, that we've seen a market shift in Washington where we are actually investing money into our kids, not into ourselves or those who came before us. So I love it.